Hey everybody, this is Kari with Reseller Revenue, and we are going to go over what sold this week. And some of them are from last week because I was busy getting into the shed and I didn't get a what sold video done. Hopefully, you guys are gearing up and selling lots of stuff for the holidays. If you are not, don't be discouraged. It's hit or miss sometimes if we sell used items during the holidays, and I feel like it does get better for us. The more established we get, people will shop with us from gifts. But if you're new and you were expecting a huge fourth quarter and it just didn't happen, don't let it get you down because it's kind of part of the deal. So let's see what I've got here. I didn't feel like it was an amazing blow me out of the water week either. So let me share my screen here. I had to get everything reset up on Zoom. I'm not used to the new computer yet, so bear with me here. All right, so go over the performance page. I'm always very transparent with you all. I thought I had it pulled up, sorry. So my sales overall year to this month, I guess, November to December are up, but I'm not super excited about that because I was gone on vacation in October. So my sales were terrible in October. And so being up 20% or whatever isn't saying much because October is always terrible for me. So let's go. We will check out some sales, my sales performance. Let's do from the 24th to now because that's about how long since I've done a video. And here is, my sales are just kind of hanging out, holding steady. I'm not seeing like this huge surge because of the holidays. And in fact, I would imagine a lot of my regular customers are busy shopping for gifts and maybe are not, looking for themselves right now. So if that can happen, don't let it get you worried or anything. Sold 418 items during that, let's see, it'd be 12-day period, which is about right for me. I sell about a couple hundred a week. And my ASP is about where it's always at. So my numbers are always pretty much steady. So I had net sales and it was 12 days of $7,000, gross sales of 13,000. So everything looks pretty normal to me. As you can see here, my repeat buyers was only 7% of my sales in this last 12-day period. Could also be because of the holidays, but I'm really encouraging, trying to encourage myself to get that up and to work on that because I think it's really important. My shipping and handling, I always keep an eye on that because, rates have been going up for the holidays. They're going to go up and stay up in January. So I try to make sure here my shipping and handling, this is what I charged in my sales for shipping, was $1,945.39. And I had to pay $1,702.34. So as long as I'm not losing money on shipping, I'm okay because I do offer free shipping on orders over $50. So if I can still stay even offering that service, I'm okay with it. So I build the cost of my supplies into my sales. So some of these are not necessarily huge sales, but they're ones I wanted to share. This was a beautiful brooch. It was absolutely new. I did not in any way try to say it was vintage, but you can see here, it was just super pretty and it sold the same day I listed it for, I think I did get the $30 for it. It was on a 25% off sale, but it was magnificent. And I think somebody's going to really like that. I only included that because even though it wasn't a high dollar sale, I knew it would be a fast sale. And sometimes modern is totally fine with me. It doesn't bother me at all to sell some modern stuff. This item I'm showing you because see how many stones are missing? There are a lot of stones missing. And I knew when I picked it up for $4 that I could flip it and make some money off of it because it was just such a nice pot metal brooch. And I made sure it said repair, and you can clearly see that it's missing stones and that some of the enamel was worn, but it had a lot of personality, a lot of really good color. And I knew somebody would probably fix that up and resell it or enjoy it. Here's a butterfly stick pin lot. I include this because sometimes it's so easy to just like chuck these because, a lot of them are hard to sell individually. But if we make little lots of them, if we don't have to, save them forever to create the lot and we have a bunch of them in a thing, you can absolutely sell these as a small lot. So this sold for $38.49. And that was a lot of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 of those. It actually sold pretty good too, or quick. I listed these November 11th. So this is an Egyptian Revival Ankh pin. I just wanted to remember when we have symbols like this. So this is an Egyptian Revival symbol, and well, it's an Egyptian symbol, but this was not an old one. It might have been like 90s vintage. It wasn't like super old, but it wasn't like Egyptian's times old. So this would have been Egyptian revival, and actually is so much prettier in person than it was in the pictures. So I think somebody will really love it. I sold it pretty much the same day, also for $40, just showing to make sure that we label certain symbolic items what they are, because people do, I believe, they do search those. This was an Edwardian stick pin. I'm pretty sure I was close on the age. I took a offer for $59. It was not gold, it was magnetic, but I'm not sure. Could these have been some, they were obviously like some paste stones, which I didn't put in the title, but should have. Could those have been little diamonds? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. I was happy with $60 for a stick pin. I'm going to try to do better at researching things, like as far as, I think that could have been a sapphire. Could it have been? Maybe. Hopefully somebody loved it. I was happy to get $60 out of it. These are some Elizabeth Taylor for Avon earrings. I took it off for $59, same day I listed it. These were beautiful earrings, and Elizabeth Taylor for Avon, you almost can't go wrong with it. They just sell strong, they sell fast, and they sell good. So this is just a pair of earrings. I got it in a huge lot, and cheap lot actually, and I saw them sitting there and I thought, well, unless those are good knockoffs, I know what those are. And so these paid for my entire lot, and it sold. Yeah, it sold within a day or two. So very quick sale. I like quick sales. This is not a huge sale either, but this was missing the whole entire crystal. It was gold filled. It was not solid gold. It sold for $52, and I listed it on November 21st. It wasn't huge, but it was missing the crystal, and I just wanted to point out that you can absolutely sell these when they're missing the crystal. I always open it up, and this is on the inside of the case. So I open the case, and I always take a picture of the inside of the case. That will always also tell you if it was gold filled, or maybe if it was 14 karat gold. So just wanted to, and sometimes the case is a different brand than the watch. And if it is, you want to mention that, because you don't want, like a really valuable case, a really cheap watch, and only to mention the watch, because sometimes it is better to sell the case separate. So I was happy with that. This was a little locket. It had a bunch of wear on it, but it was cute, and it was really tiny. $47.99 on this one. Yeah, it was less than an inch. So don't discount those little tiny ones. I find them in lots all the time. People just throw them in the box. Here's a cameo. This is not a top of the line cameo, but it's not a new cameo either. So you can kind of see how it's curved, how that front of it is curved with the shell. See how sometimes they raised up right there in the front? That's a good indication of a shell cameo. You can tell it's a little concave in the back, and it was absolutely shell. Let me see if I showed it up to the light. I always try to show it up to the light. That wasn't a very good picture up to the light, but if it's translucent, you can see all the way through it. Resin will kind of reflect it, or it won't go through the, and there's just lots of different ways you can tell if they are true shell or whatever they're made out of. They can be made out of lots of things. Cameos can be made out of lava. They can be made out of different kinds of stone. They can be carved in multiple ways. A glass. So just resin, which we kind of call the fake ones. So I am no cameo expert. I'm learning all the time. If there's somebody out there that would love to come talk to the group that is a cameo person, I would love to hear from you. Also, if you have a great jewelry collection and you would like to come talk to us on our jewelry call, I would love to have you and have you show your jewelry and show a collection. Maybe you collect a certain brand or something. We would love for you to show us what you know. And I would just give you the Zoom meeting password, and you could just come on and share with us. Also, if you come into a large costume jewelry collection and you would maybe want me to help you go through it via Zoom or talk to you about it, or maybe you have a collection and want some advice on it, if you would allow me to video it and show it on YouTube, I'd be more than happy to set that up. And that would be like having free jewelry consultation. So just let me know. Message me under the YouTube links is fine. There's a link tree there with my information. So right here, this is not like sought after brand. I don't even know that I put it in the title. However, it had that bamboo look to it. And that bamboo look I'm referring to is those articulated pieces right there. And then also had a tassel, and we know the tassels bring everybody to the yard. So this was a really nice sale. I actually took an offer of 62, I think, on it, not 102. But it was a great sale for not being no name brand. These are something that can be lost in the bottom of boxes and lots. It's a Leah Stein. There are tons of Leah Stein knockoffs. Don't list them. I can't stand seeing that and having that being knocked off and then people putting it off as a real one. So we do not want to be listing those. What, Roddy? Now I'm gonna have to pay to have this edited. Well, I told you Dad I was gonna finish up quick. Why not? Thanks. Sorry about that. That was Rowdy barging in. That's one of the hazards of having a shed. They don't know if I'm in here busy. Sorry. So they're just little pieces of plastic. They're made out of plastic. They say Leah Stein Paris on the back, and the little animals are really desired. And like I said, you can get a lot of these that look just like this on Temu, and they are not the same. This is a beautiful pot metal paste brooch, and it was missing a lot of the stones, but it was so well made. And I imagine back in the day, it was a beautiful, beautiful brooch. It sold for $72.61, and it was missing probably half of its stones. So again, do not discount things because they don't have all of their stones if they are a high quality piece. And this was definitely a high quality piece. But you can sometimes pick them up cheap because people think they're junk because they're missing stones. So here is a little mini photo book. I love this. Again, it was in the bottom of a lot. People just kind of chuck these little things in the bottom and you never know what you're going to find. So I always call them the crumbs in the bottom. And I love the crumbs in the bottom because sometimes they have the best stuff. So this sold for a really good price of $119.99. And it was, you know, something really small that other people might have missed. This is a Seiko. I bring this up because I do not put batteries on all these watches. If it's a good brand and I think it's going to sell well, then I just list it as needs battery. If they return it because it doesn't work, I'll absolutely take the return. I have never had one return for that. Not that I couldn't. Now I'm going to probably get one. But just don't be afraid to list them if you don't have the right battery, if they appear to be in good condition. Right here, this is a Belova. It's a gold-filled mechanical. You wind them, and lots of times they are overwound, but if they do wind, I listen for them to tick. I never claim that they do anything besides wind and tick. People will ask me if they keep time. I tell them the truth if I don't know, which usually I don't know. So do not be afraid to list these and just say, okay, they wind and they tick. And this was engraved, which was kind of cool. And I don't know if I opened the back. So there it says gold filled, which it was. There's the side of it. I didn't open that one. I think maybe I couldn't get the back of this one open. Sometimes I can't get them open. I have a tool for it, and sometimes it just doesn't work. I won't waste a lot of time on this, but here's another junk mystery. Well, it's not a mystery because they get exactly what they see in the pictures. I stuff medium flat rate box clear full, take pictures as I'm filling the box, and people buy them. I hope they enjoy them. And oops, that one aired out. There's another medium flat rate box. Sometimes they're vintage, sometimes they're new. I just dump what I have that week in the box. So they get what they get. And this is one of my better sales. It was a Victorian hair pocket watch chain. It has gold filled ends on it. And you can see that this is, if you look, that's actual human hair. People would take it from loved ones that passed away and they would weave it and they would braid it and they would make it into jewelry, and that was a true mourning piece. So lots of people label jewelry as mourning pieces, and they are not usually, well, not usually, but there's a lot of false mourning pieces out there. But this is one of the real hair work jewelry pieces that were in fact a mourning piece. This was also one of my best sales. It was a very cool cuff bracelet that had a big monkey on it, which I loved it. It had lots of personality. It was very neat. It sold within a week for $269.99. Please see in the condition how I put the weight. I do it in ounces, and I also put it in the description for mobile because mobile sometimes can't see that condition box. And because if it's sterling, I want them to know exactly how much it weighs. My best sale was, I took an offer for $250 on this, and it was a nice Elgin pocket watch, and it ran, and it was a 14 karat. I think just the inside, I'm not really 100%, but the outside I do not believe to have been solid gold. But either way, I paid $15 for this. So I got what I needed out of it, and I was very happy with it. So I really appreciate you guys joining me today. I'm working on a video, hopefully done this weekend, about Weiss jewelry, about how come we're wild about Weiss, because there's really high-end Weiss and then there's not as high-end Weiss. And to tell you the truth, I don't always know the difference when I'm out looking. And I'm sorry you have to look at the mess behind me. There's a pile of Camrose and Cross jewelry in my light box right now that I'm working through. So if you love Camrose and Cross, which is signed JBK for Jacqueline Bouvet Kennedy, I always say that wrong, sorry. And just check out my store because I'm going to have a whole bunch of it in there. And I listed a ton of J King this morning. So we have J King and JBK going on in my store. And I hope you guys have a great holiday season. There'll be hopefully the Weiss will be released on Thursday. This should be coming out Monday. And then I'm going to try to release our jewelry calls every single Saturday. So I hope you enjoy them. Let me know what else you want to hear about. Contact me if you'd like to be on to show us a collection or have me look at your collection. So I appreciate it. Thank you.